Selling options versus buying options. David Jaffe with BestStockStrategy.com, and in this video we are going to discuss whether selling options is better than buying options. We've all heard a lot of bad stories about selling options where people trade too large, and then you have optionsellers.com where they blew up their account by selling calls on natural gas. And a lot of people say that selling naked call and put options is very risky. And it definitely is, because you do have unlimited risk, especially when you sell call options, and you can lose a lot of money, especially with leveraged products. However, when you sell options, there's a very high probability of profit. When you buy options, it's actually different, where the probability of profit is very low, but it's also a defined risk trade inherently, because you know your maximum loss as you enter the trade. It's only the amount of premium that you paid for that position. And additionally, when you buy options, you can make a lot of money. You can buy cheap options for a quarter, and then a stock can go up 10% in one day. And that same option position that you bought for a quarter is now trading at about $10. The issue with buying options is that the probability of profit is extremely low. Buying options to me is very similar to buying lottery tickets, where, yeah, there are a few winners, but by and large, the more times you play, the higher probability is that you're going to end up losing money. And the primary reason for that is that risk is overpriced, and the expected volatility is almost always less than the actual volatility. So if you're overpaying for expected volatility, then what's the best way of consistently making money? And in my opinion, that is selling options. The problem with many traders when they sell options is that your enemy is not necessarily where the stock is trading relative to the strike price that you sold. Instead, your enemy is going to be the expansion in volatility during the small percentage of times that the actual volatility is more than the expected volatility. And a lot of people don't realize this. And one of the primary reasons why your enemy is the volatility expansion is that when volatility expands, almost all of your existing option positions are going to be showing you a loss, and you're going to have to defend those trades. When you defend trades, it's going to end up using a lot of your buying power, and you're not going to be able to deploy that capital to open up new positions, which can be very profitable during volatility expansion events. Additionally, if you trade too large and you run out of buying power, then your broker can force you to close out that position at the most inopportune time and force you to sustain massive losses. That's why options trading, and specifically selling options, can be very risky, because the enemy is not necessarily your strike price relative to where the underlying stock is trading, but rather the enemy is the volatility expansion associated with when volatility is greater than the estimated or expected volatility. So how can you mitigate the risk when actual volatility is greater than expected volatility? The best way of doing that is when the VIX is trading under 20, sell vertical credit spreads. By buying the long call or the long put, that option will inherently protect you because it is going to gain value as volatility expands. What I like to do is when the VIX is trading under 20, I'll sell vertical credit spreads. When the VIX is trading over 20, then I'll sell naked options. This protects me against a large volatility expansion event because, like I said previously, your biggest enemy is going to be volatility expansion, because then all of your existing positions are going to be showing you a loss. And in the worst case scenario, if you traded too large, then you're going to use up all your available buying power and you're going to be forced to close out the position. In general, with very few exceptions, the only times that you're going to lose money by selling options is if you run out of buying power or you run out of time. Even during March of 2020, when Amazon fell, even if you were short put, as long as you had enough available buying power, you easily could have rolled that position forward. And then in just 2 weeks, in the beginning of April, that position would have started to show you a profit as volatility continued to contract and as the underlying stock price increased in value. As a result, when you look at buying options versus selling options, Selling options requires significantly more discipline. It requires more finesse. It requires more patience. Where buying options is almost like buying lottery tickets. And yes, there are a lot of people who do make money by buying options. But I think that for a long-term strategy, selling options is significantly better. David Jaffe with BestStockStrategy.com. Let me know your thoughts below on whether you believe buying options or selling options is best, and I appreciate your attention.